Tom, you've got some nice drives, Pinjarra Monday. Target identified, the first of those in race 1 for Johnny Graham. Nice draw, barrier 3.
Yeah, we were really happy with his last run. You know, he had to get burned out the gate trying to hold one outside him and got a little bit of a squeeze and still settled really nicely and then just battled to the line, finished with him. But I think the two horses that beat him, they're both very talented. So I think in that field, hopefully if we can find the front, he'd be extremely hard to beat. But even if he doesn't find the front, he'll definitely be thereabouts.
It looks a slight drop in grade.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, the two horses that beat him at Bunbury the other night one's racing in the slip of the night, and the other one I thought was a super run. Got burned out the gate and still batted on really well. So I think he's well placed in that. Yeah.
One of your favourites, It's Dark and Stormy, lines up in race number 2. Fair to say that he probably needed the run first up after such a long break?
Yeah, certainly. He's had 2 serious injuries, so John and myself have been a little bit hesitant to put the work into him at home. So we're sort of leaving it to the races to get that fitness into him. He probably went to the races, probably 70 or 80% fit the other night, and there was always our plan just to drop him out and let him run home, and he did that, and they ran super time. They went 155.8, which is probably quicker than we wanted first up for 2 years, but he looks like he's come through that run really well, and we really all we do with him at home is swim him, and he might go on the track once a week if he's lucky. We're just really trying to leave it to the races, keep all that pressure off that leg of his so he can stay stand as long as possible.
How did he come back after that first up run? Blow up a bit? Heart rate would have been high?
Yeah, certainly. He was blowing the house down, so look, it's another good field on Monday, which is probably good because then people don't really pay too much attention to him. If it was a weak field, then everyone's sort of expecting him to run really well. But there's 3 really nice horses in it, I believe. 2 are Bondies and Hawley's got a smart one in there too. So I think that works out good for him. He can just same thing, sort of settle back and let him run home again.
How many runs do you think you'll need before he's just about right? Because at his peak, he's a very nice horse.
Yeah, certainly. Like I wasn't with John when he had him as a 2-year-old, but watching his replays, and I've been told that on the track as a 2-year-old, him and Clifford were as good as each other, and I think Clifford finishes a C8 and this bloke's a CO. So when you compare him like that, hopefully you'd imagine 3 to 4 runs and then he'd really be sort of working back to his top. But 2 years out of the game, and like I said, we're really not putting too much work into it at home, so it could be 5 or 6 runs, but there'll be no rush with him, certainly.
Legendary Lou resumes in race number 3, drawn the outside of the front. It's a tough draw to overcome. Yeah,
certainly. And first up, I've already spoke to Rob, and we'll just go back and give her a nice little run and let her run home first up. So, we're not expecting too much, but hopefully she hits the line hard, and then we'll look for next start, certainly.
Picked up the drive on Time Passenger in race number 4, unplaced earlier tonight in a pretty strong field. The field on Monday, it's nowhere near as strong.
No, certainly not. I think, obviously the Oyster Bar's been running super races in town lately. I think he's going to be extremely hard to beat if Tony's got him on song, but the rest of the field, I think he's probably as good as them. So I'd like to imagine, he'd be in the finish. The first time I drove him for Gary, he was a little bit underdone, Gary said, and he sort of raced like that. He got a perfect card into it and didn't quite finish the race off. And then next start he come out and won. So I was a little bit disheartened by that. But Gary said he was a run off, and he was exactly right. So hopefully Gary's got him spot on Monday, and he'll be right there.
And talk about Mac in race number 6 now. It's the right sort of draw, barrier 1, but gee, the opposition's pretty strong. Bondi's got quite a few going around in this, and you've got Erskine Range there as well. You just look at the lineup. Bulldozer's second up. It's a very good field.
Yeah, it certainly is. Whereas, we were really happy with her second up run when she ran second in town, and she follows speed really well. So I imagine we'll just let her slide out. She's got that natural gate speed, and then hand over to whoever we feel that is the best option. And looking at it, you'd probably say Bondi's drawn 2 looks the likely leader. You wouldn't imagine he would hand over to anyone if he found the front. So, like I said, I'll discuss that with Bill, and we'll take it from there. But like I said, really happy with their second up run. Hopefully she can with the sprint lane, she can be in the finish.
She's a very, very good horse on the pegs, whether it be leading or taking a trail, as you're alluding to. But gee, you look at this lineup: Tuapika Kahoo, the one you've touched on, drawn 2. I'm Terrific, Wrongly Accused is there. Erskine Range, Galactic Galleon, Bulldozer, Christian Banner, Mr. Nickel. It's a lineup.
Yeah, it certainly is when you read him aloud. But like I said, we've got the draw, so hopefully, like I said, she follows speed really well. The other night she was sort of still travelling before I pulled her out, and then she sort of just whacked to the line and held on for second. So she'll finish with him, I can guarantee you that. But whether she can run past some of those better ones is another query. But she'll certainly, follow the speed, and with the sprint lane, you never know.
Yeah, so true. Best of luck on Monday.
Thanks very much, Wes.